Okay, so let's talk about x-rays now. And you should have pictures of your x-rays from today. So let's talk about what normal is. I think it's pretty obvious. Most people understand that if you look at x-rays from a person looking at them from the front or the back, that we want the spine to be straight up and down. And even though with your posture from the side, you want to see straight up and down the line through the ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle that we talk about with your posture report, when we look on the x-rays on the inside, we actually want to see curves. So where we're looking right here, if you look at the green line, you are looking directly onto somebody that is facing uh, to your left. So you're looking at their left shoulder, all the way through that way. And what we want to see is we want to see, like in the neck up here, a nice smooth curve, and then an opposing curve in the mid back, and then an opposing curve in the low back. We want to see the head, which is about right here, being right over this green line, which matches up with the normal green line in the posture. So the head itself is up here where I'm circling right now, and that being the center of gravity. I want you to think back to your posture report. We have in there what the actual weight of your head is and what the effective weight of your head is. So, whenever the head is above the pelvis and the shoulder, just like this green example of near normal, and the curves are like they're supposed to be, then whatever your posture report says your head weighs is pretty darn close to what it actually weighs. So now when we look on the inside, there's things that we want to see here. First of all, we want to see that curve that we talk about. Second of all, we want to see these boxes here that I'm outlining for you to be nice and square with no rough or jagged edges. And we want that black space between them to be nice and thick and even throughout. And that opens up holes where the nerves go down. And we'll talk about nerves after a bit. So behind these boxes here, you can see all this other bone, right? And you can even see these lines here, kind of diagonal lines. Those are different joints. They're called facet joints. There's one on each side between each vertebra, top and bottom. So those facet joints are designed to hold the weight of the head. So if your head weighs 10 pounds, it's supposed to go down through all this bone right here. Unfortunately, due to traumas, whether it's sports, falls, car wrecks, or even micro traumas like sitting at a desk with a bad posture, bad sleeping posture, text neck, spending too much time looking down at our phones, it causes the vertebra to actually be out of proper alignment, and it starts a accelerated aging process. So if we're going to go from the top left box where it is near normal, in the green line, we're going to look to the next picture to the right. And so right here, you can clearly see that the curve is almost absent. So the spine is out of alignment here, and the head itself is shifted forward. So now the green line, if you'll notice, that's the center of the weight of the head. It's going down through here. So what this does is it shifts the weight from the back of the vertebra right here where there's all the extra bone, and it shifts it to the front, and it puts way too much pressure on an area that was never designed to have that kind of pressure. Right here, that when the head shifts forward, this is very similar and relates to your posture report, to where it says how far the head is shifted forward, and it talks about what the effective weight is. And I'll show you a demonstration when you come in to go over your treatment plan. So anyway, there are different phases. This would be phase one here because we can see the obvious biomechanical difference between normal curve and straight. So if you think about like your car, pickup, truck, whatever, you go out and you get brand new tires on it and you get brand new alignment, and then you go out and drive it and you hit a big pothole or you hit a curb or something like that and knocks it out of alignment. If that alignment is not corrected, then the tires won't wear like they're supposed to. They'll wear out earlier in certain areas where there's more stress. It's the same thing with the spine. Not only is the stress where this red line is in the wrong place, but it can be two, three, or more times the amount of stress because of that effective weight, and it causes rapid premature aging. Now, if we see here, though, in phase one, the curve is gone, but the boxes are still nice and square with no rough or jagged edges, and the spaces between them are nice and thick. So that tells me that this has been here anywhere from, a few days to up to, say, a max of 10 years. Now, we want to find these problems early in phase one, not only to make people feel better, but people in phase one have the greatest likelihood to get back to near normal, like the top left. Now, if we do not correct this in phase one, it's just like the tires on the vehicle that the alignment's bad. We have the premature aging. If we fast forward this 5, 10, 15 years, we can see now we have rough, jagged edges and we have thinner spaces, thinner discs here. This would be phase two. Now, once we get phase two changes with degenerative discs and bone spurs, those are permanent. They don't go back. I mean, we can help get rid of scar tissue and get them moving, but we can never jump from phase two to normal. So, like I said, we always want to catch it in phase one. Now, if we don't stop it in phase two and correct the curve as much as we can to restore the normal uh, biomechanics, unfortunately, it just moves to phase three. And in phase three, you can see that the disc space is very thin. The extra bone, those spurs, are, have grown much larger. And, this is another 5, 10, 15-year period, depending on the effective weight of that head and how the body is responding. So, anyway, that's what you need to look at as you're looking here at the pictures of your x-rays that you took, and make sure you can look in here and see what looks good on your x-rays and what doesn't. And then, of course, we just have to talk about what to do to actually fix it.